What's up, Minimal Fam and my veg curious friends? I'm going to take you on a little grocery haul today. We're going to the local market by me and then the farmer's market to stock up on some produce. A lot of you are curious about veganism but have no idea where to start when shopping and think it's going to be super difficult and complicated. But I'm going to show you today there's really basic things you can get that are very easy and very affordable. But first, I'm going to eat this burrito. I am totally out of food and had a very specific craving for this morning of like, damn, I want a burrito. And lo and behold, the corner market right by my house has this vegan and gluten-free burrito, which are really hard to find. Amy's is a solid brand. I've been eating them since I was like a teenager when I was vegetarian back in the day. Frozen burrito is that high quality gourmet, the best health option always? No, but sometimes is it just what the doctor ordered? Hell yes. I did find some straggler potatoes from dinner last night. No hot sauce, which would have made this 10 out of 10, but still really good stuff. Here's what's coming with. I've got my canvas shopping bag, a little produce bag, cat bag, and of course, fanny pack for the win. I have to say, being able to walk to a market instead of getting in a car and sitting in traffic and lobbying for parking is kind of the best thing ever. Okay, here is our magnificent haul. I'm gonna sit down for a second. Whew, I have to say, carrying all this back was a bit of a workout, but honestly, it feels good. I mean, it's kind of what we were designed to do as human beings, is pick up heavy stuff and carry it for long distances. So it feels good to connect with that versus have everything physical be outsourced like it is in the modern age. But anyway, let's get to the actual haul. Let's start at the farmer's market. I love potatoes. I eat so many potatoes. I'm a potatovore for sure. We have some Yukon Gold potatoes, although they're called something different here. I should have noted what it was. I don't remember, but yellow potatoes, red potatoes. These are white champagne peaches, which I've never tried before, but they look delicious. Carrots, some leafy greens, and the avocado and banana actually came from the market because bananas and avocados do not grow in British Columbia. The bananas are organic, the avocados are not, but it's okay. You know, you always have to just do the best you can with what you have. But all of the farmers market produce is organic and of course local, which is awesome. It always makes it taste so much better. Moving on to the local market dry goods haul. I've got some gluten-free brown sugar maple oats. By the way, a lot of people think that you have to be gluten-free for health. It's not really the case. If you tolerate it, have at it, eat away. My body doesn't tolerate it, so I am gluten-free, but don't think that you have to be gluten-free just to be healthy. My favorite brown rice pasta is not here in Canada, tier. But this brown rice red lentil penne is actually really good. So I've been jamming on that for a little bit. We've got a couple boxes of lentils and chickpeas. If you are able to find those things in bulk, that is, of course, better. I am not on that level. I need things to be quick and easy while I'm immersed in my studies. But if you do buy in bulk, it will, of course, save you money and packaging, which is always better. And then I have this new Canadian brand that I found and I'm obsessed with, this Caribbean black bean soup. It is absolutely delicious. Got a couple cans of those. Some just plain strained tomato sauce that I like to mix with my rice and then some of the legumes. Am I trying to avoid anything from regular tomato sauce? No, I just like the simplicity of this and you get a lot more for a lot less money. But when I do have pasta, I will probably go pick up a little jar of regular like flavored pasta sauce. And then this is another brand I found in Canada. It's really good. I've been using that as my salad dressing. And then we've got these local cashews. All in all, this should last about a week. A lot of people wonder about budget for the week. This might last a little bit more, give or take. I do go out to eat once a week. Nothing fancy, just like Thai or Indian food. It's a self-care indulgence I quite enjoy. But all in all, this should be enough for about a week's worth of food. What's not shown here is a giant bag of white rice that I already had. I eat white rice probably almost every day, usually with some combination of the legume situation here. The cashews and dressing will definitely last more than a week, but for the sake of simplicity, we'll call this, plus some white rice, a week's worth of food. How much did it cost? Because I know you're wondering. The farmer's market was $40 Canadian and the regular market was $80 Canadian. So this is a total of 120 Canadian, and I just used the daily exchange rate converter. That works out to be $86 American. So 86 for a week's worth of food, because remember, I am spending my own American dollars, 86 US dollars for 1 week. To me, that feels pretty good. That may seem high to some people, that may seem low to some people, but at the end of the day, health is wealth, and I will never budget or scrimp on good food that I need and I know will nourish me properly. For those of you who are really budget conscious, the most expensive thing on this list was by far these cashews. They were 20 Canadian dollars. That's an indulgence, and I certainly will not die if I don't have these cashews, but I do really feel like they add value to my life and I can afford them, so I get them. But without these, the bill actually would have been only 100 Canadian, which is, I don't know, do the math American, but significantly less. I wanted to take a quick second to talk about diet plans. A lot of you have been asking if I follow a specific diet plan within being vegan, such as high carb, low fat, or raw, or high raw, or intermittent fasting, or FODMAP, or soy free, or blah, 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 blah. There's infinite diets these days. And the short answer is no, I do not. When I first found veganism 10 years ago, I definitely did slant towards the high carb camp, although I found really early on, if I completely obliterated fats, that no, that doesn't feel good on my body, especially as a woman. So I absolutely do not believe in the fat-free mentality, and I don't demonize protein either. Does my diet, to the layman looking at it from the outside, is it probably maybe perhaps lower in fat and protein-ish than some others? Sure, maybe, but it's not because I'm specifically trying to lower those macronutrients. And in fact, I have no idea what the ratios of my macros are, and I don't want to know. I think that's absolute bogus that you should have to go on Cronometer or whatever other application and sit and tabulate and count calories, or think you know exactly the amount of whatever nutrient is really in your food, and then think you know exactly what amount you're actually digesting, and then think you know exactly what amount you're actually absorbing and utilizing within your cells. It's kind of like fairy dust, and there are tons of experts out there, whether it's a dietitian or a nutritionist or a health coach or an influencer, saying buy my coaching program, buy my ebook, buy my blah, 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 and you will be fit, happy, and healthy. But unfortunately, that's kind of what killed the vegan movement. If anyone is out there has heard of Healthy Crazy Cool Miles, I can't pronounce his last name, not affiliated with this channel, but I think he's really funny and a great dude, and he actually has way better vegan recipes than I do. But he just put out a video why basically the vegan movement collapsed on the internet, and there's a couple different reasons, but a big part of it was this orthorexic / extreme diet culture that got warped into people thinking it was synonymous with being vegan. Being vegan means you can only eat fruit. Being vegan means you only drink celery juice for breakfast. Being vegan means you have to do a 30-day juice cleanse every month just to reset your aura. Oh my God. I mean, if that stuff, if you enjoy it and it makes you feel good, like cool, keep doing that. But
unfortunately, that message got pressed out to the masses, and because a lot of people do feel not good in their bodies, or they do feel energetically just not in alignment with what they want, and of course appealing to the vanity and of women mostly. A lot of women want to be skinnier, and they see some skinny influencers saying only eat fruit, or don't eat fat, or only eat fat, or because there's been every message out there, then you'll be skinny like me and just buy my ebook and follow exactly my rubric. But what happened is a lot of people did that, and not only did they not get skinnier, some of them, a lot of them got really sick and unhealthy. Some got too skinny, some gained weight, some completely destroyed their digestive system. But guess what? If you eat nothing but beet and carrot juice for 30 days, you probably won't be able to digest solid food after that. But as I've tried to show in my videos, those things do not have to be what being vegan is. Being vegan is actually quite simple. If you're coming to this lifestyle, unless you're an absolute carnivore, which you either are clicked on this video because you've realized carnivore doesn't work for you, or you're just here to hate on it and like, great dude, have fun, hate away, get a life. But unless you're absolute carnivore, you already were eating plants in your life. You already were having potatoes. You already were having rice. You already were having fruit. You already were having vegetables. All the things that you probably were having, oatmeal and pasta, like all the things I eat as a vegan are things that non-vegans eat. Just subtract the meat, subtract the dairy, subtract the eggs, and then bulk up the other things that you like. And for me, are carbs the bulk of what I eat? Yes, but is it because I'm following someone's plan? No, I did my own trial and error. If I just stop up on only tofu all day, I'll feel kind of bloated and not very energized. I found through my own experimentation that eating a bunch of carbohydrate-rich foods gives me a shit ton of energy, and I have amazing athletic recovery, and I have more mental clarity, and that's what works for me. But a lot of you may look at this and say, oh my God, I would need 100 grams more protein. Like, great, if that's what you think you need, then do that. Eat more legumes, eat more tofu, eat more fats and oils if you want. Like, you have to experiment and find out what works for you. The internet is chock full of people that want to tell you what they think, what they know will work for you, and most of the time it's because they're selling you something. But we have outsourced our own innate wisdom and intelligence and knowledge, mind-body connection, to everyone else, not just with nutrition, but with everything. But for the sake of the scope of this video, with nutrition, I understand when you're coming to something that's totally new for you, some helpful guidance is helpful, which is why I put out what I eat in a day videos and this video, like showing what I buy. But take it with a grain of salt, and I'm not saying you have to eat exactly these meals because this is the right way to be vegan. I'm saying, no, here's some ideas. Go and run with it. If that meal looks good to you, like, great, eat it. See how it makes you feel. Does it taste good? Does it digest well? Does it satiate you? Does it give you energy? Do you sleep well? Do you wake up the next morning feeling like you have energy, and do you feel like you can take on the day? And if not, well, play around and experiment. Do you want more fat? Do you want more protein? But I don't even think of food like that. When I'm picking up an avocado, I'm not like, ooh, okay, here's so many grams of fat to hit this macro quota. I'm like, no, dude, like, guacamole is delicious. I'm gonna eat that. When I grab a potato, it's not like, oh, I need to hit this certain gram of carbohydrate and this percentage. No, I just like potatoes. I just like rice. Like, they taste good to me. And if I want something heavier, like oily food, like Indian food once in a while, like, yeah, I'm gonna eat that. If I eat it all day, every day, will I feel like crap? Yes, I will. But this is through, again, my own experimentation. So start getting used to coming back into your own mind-body connection. And remember that you're smarter than you think. You're smarter than the people who are trying to sell you something, give you credit for. Do the experiment, see how you feel. Just keep it simple and easy with some of the food examples I showed you. But if you eat something I showed you and it doesn't make you feel good, then stop eating it. Just don't do it. Your body is yours. Bring your life back into your own autonomy. And at the end of the day, have fun with it. As I've shown, it can be really easy to be vegan, but you can also make some incredibly beautiful recipes. Some channels I would recommend. I'm not affiliated with any of these. I just think they're great and they're way better cooks than I am. Healthy Crazy Cool, which I just mentioned, Madeline Olivia, High Carb Hannah, Pickup Limes, and Jenny Mustard. They all are beautiful vegan chefs and have some great recipes you can check out. But hopefully this was helpful to some degree. Remember, you're your own boss. You are in charge of your body. Really, though, if you're coming to veganism, remember, it is about the animals. Maybe your weight will change, maybe it will go up, maybe it will go down, maybe you'll have a struggle in this way and have to problem solve in this way, or maybe you'll feel amazing right away. It won't be the same as everyone else's experience with veganism, but it's up to you to tinker with it and see what makes you feel good. And if you really do want to stay vegan, remember, it's about the animals and it's about the planet. And once you make that connection, it becomes really easy to stay. All right, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.